Germany had the best engineers in the world, and somehow, by the end of World War II, their soldiers were being issued revolvers from the 1870s. 20 different handguns in service at once, some cutting edge, some embarrassing. And that chaos tells you everything about how Germany actually fought this war. We start with the one everyone knows, the Pistola 8, the Luger P08. Is Germany's most iconic sidearm, and it was chambered in 9x19mm parabellum. It was expensive, slow to manufacture, and already being phased out, and yet it was still everywhere in World War II. Large numbers remained in Wehrmacht service throughout the entire conflict. The Germans just could not let it go. Honestly, neither could anyone else. Next, we have the pistol that was supposed to replace the Luger, the Walther P38. Chambered in 9x19mm, held 8 rounds, and introduced a double-action trigger system that made it genuinely modern for its time. Walther, Mauser, and Sprayer work all produced it during the war. Total wartime production crossed 1 million pistols. The P38 did not just replace the Luger, it became one of the most produced German pistols of the entire war. Continuing with the Walther PP, a compact double-action pistol chambered in 7.65mm Browning, also known as 32 ACP. This one was everywhere in the German police, among officers, officials, and administrative military personnel. It was not a frontline infantry pistol, but it was an absolutely legitimate German service sidearm used in enormous numbers. Now we have the smaller sibling, the Walther PPK. Same caliber as the PP, same general design, just shorter and a bit lighter. Police, security services, officers, and officials all carried it. It is probably the most famous compact pistol of the entire war, largely because of what it became in popular culture afterward. But in World War II, it was simply a very common German sidearm for anyone who did not need a full-sized pistol. Let us continue with the Sauer 38H. This was a compact German semi-automatic chambered in 7.65mm Browning, used by the Wehrmacht, Luftwaffe, and German police. It had a double-action trigger and a very unusual feature for the era, a dedicated cocking and decocking lever on the slide. Not many people talk about the Sauer 38H. That is a mistake because it was used in large numbers and it was genuinely well regarded by the people who carried it. Next up, the Mauser HSC. Originally a commercial pocket pistol design, it was procured by the Kriegsmarine, the Army, and the police. Chambered mainly in 7.65mm Browning, it was a clean, slim, well-made pistol that fit naturally into officer and naval service. Mauser built it alongside the C96 and the P38, which tells you something about how stretched German production was. The HSC does not get the attention it deserves. Continuing with the Mauser Model 1934, another 7.65mm pocket pistol used in military and police service. It was not a frontline combat pistol. It showed up in support roles, naval service, administrative positions, and as an officer's sidearm. Simple, reliable, and quietly issued to a large number of people who needed a sidearm but were not expected to be in a firefight. Most of them never were. We have the Mauser Model 1914, which was already old by the time World War II started. It still appeared in police, rear area, and officer service from older stocks and continued procurement. It was not a combat pistol in any meaningful sense by 1939, but it was in German hands, it was officially carried, and ignoring it from a complete service list would be inaccurate. So here it is. Now we arrive at the Mauser C96, the broom handle. And yes, it was still in German service during World War II. Not in large numbers, not as a standard issue weapon, but in police stocks, from older reserves, and in limited wartime carry. By 1940, it was entirely obsolete. That did not stop it from appearing. The C96 had been everywhere in German service since the 1890s, and apparently nobody had gotten around to retiring every last one of them. Continuing with one of the best pistols on this entire list. After Germany occupied Belgium in 1940, Production at the FN factory in Herstal continued under German control. The result was the Pistole 640B, the Browning High Power, chambered in 9 by 19 mm parabellum. Nearly 325,000 were produced under occupation between 1940 and 1944. It was particularly associated with Waffen-SS and Fallschirmjäger use. A high-capacity 9 mm produced by the Belgians for the Germans to use against the Allies. The war was full of ironies. Next, the Polish Radom VIS WZ35, designated in German service as Pistole 35P. Chambered in 9 by 19 mm parabellum, it was one of the finest pistols produced anywhere in the world at the time of the German invasion of Poland in 1939. More than 360,000 were produced overall, including wartime production under German occupation. German troops used it extensively. Some accounts suggest German soldiers actively sought it out over their own standard issue. That is about as strong an endorsement as a pistol can get. Let us continue with the Czech CZ VZ27, designated Pistole 27T in German service. Chambered in 7.65 mm Browning, it was used by German military, police, and occupation forces after Germany absorbed Czechoslovakia. It was simple, reliable, and produced in large numbers under German administration. Not as exciting as the VIS, but a genuine and widely used German service pistol. Now, the CZ VZ24, designated Pistole 24T. This was an earlier Czech military pistol, chambered in 9 mm Browning short, also known as 380 ACP. It was taken into German service after the occupation and used as a substitute standard sidearm. It is not the most famous Czech pistol Germany captured, but it was a real, documented service weapon. Continuing with the CZ VZ38, designated in German service as Pistole 39T. Chambered in 9 mm Browning short, it was a Czech military pistol accepted just before the occupation and immediately absorbed into German stocks. Its double-action only trigger was heavy and not particularly loved, but it was issued and it was carried. Substitute standard is still standard. Next, we have the FN Model 1922, designated Pistole 626B in German service. Another product of occupied Belgium, this one in large pre-war and wartime production numbers. German military and police forces used it throughout the war. It was chambered in both 7.65 mm Browning and 9 mm Browning short depending on the version. Reliable, straightforward, and widely distributed among occupation and security forces. Now we move to France. The MAB Model D, designated Pistole 625F, was a French pistol produced under German occupation and used by German police, security, and occupation forces. Chambered in 7.65 mm Browning. It was not a glamorous pistol. It was produced because Germany needed more sidearms, France was occupied, and the factory was still running. Wartime procurement at its most pragmatic. Continuing with the Astra 643, and this one is interesting. Spain was neutral, but that did not stop German procurement. The Astra 643 was specifically manufactured for Germany, chambered in 9 by 19 mm parabellum to match the standard German service cartridge. It was a shortened 9 mm version of the Astra 400 design. The Wehrmacht used it during the war. A Spanish pistol, built to German specifications, shooting German ammunition. The supply chain for World War II was truly something. Next, also from Spain, the Astra 300. This one was supplied to Germany in both 7.65 mm Browning and 9 mm Browning short. It went primarily to the military, police, Luftwaffe, and rear area personnel. It was not the centerpiece of anyone's arsenal, but Germany needed sidearms in large quantities. Spain was willing to sell, and the Astra 300 ended up in German service as a result. Now we arrive at the revolvers,
And we need to talk about the fact that Germany was still issuing revolvers in World War II. The Revolver M1879 was a 10.6mm single-action revolver, originally adopted in the 1870s. By World War II, it was beyond obsolete. It was an antique in service. It appeared in rear area, guard, reserve, and emergency roles. Nobody was charging a Soviet position with an M1879, but it was in German stocks, and it was issued, and so here it is. And finally, the Revolver M1883, the shorter variant of the same aging family. Like the M1879, it was completely obsolete by World War II standards. It showed up in reserve, police, and guard service from whatever old stocks were still sitting in German armories. Including it in this list is not about combat relevance. It's about accuracy, and accuracy is the whole point. That completes the full catalog, 20 German service handguns, from the most modern to the genuinely ancient, all of them documented in German hands during World War II.